If there is a menu that is most ignored, that will be the View menu. So let's get rid of the inspector real quickly and go look at the View menu. Now you're thinking, wow, these are important features, but you know what? People often ignore this menu because you can go to Browse Mode, Find Mode, Layout Mode, and Preview Mode by using the buttons they provided inside the status toolbar, like Exit Layout and Edit Layout and Enter Preview. They're all there. You also can learn the keyboard commands, which I've recommended, and that would avoid this menu as well. So along with that, go to Layout. Well, Manage Layout option, and all the layouts are available here, which is much quicker in my opinion. So just looking at these first 5 options, you really don't need them. They're nice to have here, but I really don't use them that much from here. And then you look down here, well, now we start getting into some stuff that shouldn't be ignored. Don't ignore a menu by what's up at the top. Look down farther. We have page margins, graphic rulers, text ruler, ruler lines. These are all important for printing, which we'll cover when we get to the printing section. Then we have T-squares. These are kind of neat. Let's try them out. These really seem like they should be under the Range menu because they allow you to range your objects. So I'm going to put our T-squares over here, draw a little rectangle, and watch what happens. When I get this object close enough, I'm moving it slowly so you can see, it's going to magnetize to it. You can see how I haven't gotten there, but now it's kind of attached itself to it. It's like a magnet. And if I let go right here, even though I'm not quite to where the T-squares are, it moves there. No matter where you're at, it'll do that. Even if I'm only next to one, it'll just go up there. But if I'm next to both, like over here, it's easier to see. Bam, it'll go right inside there. So you can line these T-squares up with something else, like maybe the top of these tabs if you want. And then you can go, okay, well now this is perfectly lined up. Now I don't typically use the T-squares because then they have this, they're on the screen and they're kind of annoying to me. I like to go ahead and line things up like this. So let's get rid of them real quick. I wonder if this is lined up with that. Well, what I'll do is I'll just draw a rectangle here, a selection rectangle. I'll go, yep, those are lined up. Great. Perfect. To me, that's much quicker, and it's a personal way of doing things. The other way is to go ahead and use the Range menu, of course, too. You can go ahead and align them and distribute them and things like that. So you may find the T-squares are your favorite feature. You may find you're like me and like other features better. There's a lot to choose from here. So we'll get rid of that. And then we have our show. Now, we're not going to cover these until later. We have a section called Layout Badges, and there's quite a few added in FileMaker 11, so we're going to go over those later. But they are very useful, and again, people, I've known long-time developers, been using FileMaker for 10 years, and they come out and say, oh, I didn't even know that you could go ahead and show these little tags on things, these little badges, or they didn't know a particular badge was under there. It's because people ignore it, but it's very useful to have. Then we have your status toolbar, which simply just goes ahead and hides it. Of course, you can show it this way or with this button down here. Just another way to do it. And then you get, of course, with the menu item, you get a keyboard command. Then you have the customized status toolbar, which we've covered quite a bit. We have the formatting bar. That's that little section there, which we can show this way also. Again, don't use it much because it's right there. And then if we go back in here, we have the inspector. We can choose it this way instead of just using this button. But this is more convenient. But right below it is something very interesting, New Inspector. We can actually show 2 inspectors at once, showing 2 different areas. If you have a large screen, this can be very handy. And then we have our zoom in and our zoom out. These are the same as these features down here, and I usually use it this way. That's just my personal preference. It's up to you. Maybe you want to go up to the view menu. I just find it much slower to do it this way. So don't disregard this view menu. There's a lot of cool things underneath it, and we're also going to go over the layout badges in the next section so you can learn how those work. In fact, you already see one right here, the Quick Find Layout Badge.